my greatest idol over here. I mean, I built the New Girls around girl power, right? And I was like collecting a lot of success stories from the women who inspired me. And I mean, I've been attending global and regional conventions since 2011, and you've always been up there on stage. And I'm like, every convention, I'm going to be like her. That's the goal. That's the goal. So thank you for gracing this event with your presence. Leadership training and mindset training is one of the things I value the most. You know, before you even think about putting money in your wallet, in your actual wallet, you gotta invest something in your mental wallet as well. You gotta take care of your mental health. And the reason why is because being an entrepreneur is hard, right? I mean, we're all leaders here, and we gotta be real with ourselves. Our new skin journey, we have the success that we have now, but it hasn't been easy, has it? Right? It hasn't been a perfect journey, and so I think leadership and mindset trainings like this really, really matter. So let's give New Skin Vietnam a hand. Oh my gosh, this is really amazing. You know, I know that I skimmed through my story yesterday with you guys, and so they requested that I tell like a different version of it, and I'm like, how do I do that? And since this is a mindset training, I'm going to give you more than just a chronological history of my story, and instead I will tell you my history with New Skin in lessons that I learned. I actually have 5 major lessons that I learned in my journey with New Skin, and so I'm going to tell my story that way. I've actually been in the business for 7 years now. I entered when I was 20 years old. I'm now 27. And I was so excited when I first put in my LOI, my first one. Mind you, I say first one because this is not going to be the last LOI I put in. So it was a pretty simple journey at first. I said, I love New Skin. I love that it pays people so much. And so this is the vehicle I choose. I was 20 years old. And so I put in my LOI. I haven't had my first 1,000 points yet, but I already put it in, and I finished my qualification in 4 months. It's okay, it's average, it's nothing special, right? And when I became an executive, I quit my job right away because I thought, this is going to be easy peasy. It's going to be a happy journey, and I was so wrong. I was so wrong because I really wasn't a better leader then. Half of the time, I didn't know what I was doing, right? So I was following my mentor blindly, and what happened was I went through my grace period because I couldn't maintain my volumes. I went through my grace period, I went through my provisional executive period, and then I lost my position. Who's had that kind of journey before? You guys? It happens. It happens. Happened to me more than once, actually. So I was like, I'm so upset. I'm so depressed. Like, does this happen to everybody? And so I was like, don't tell anyone. I told my sponsor, this is very embarrassing. So do not tell anyone that I lost my position as an executive. I'm just going to put in another LOI, and I'm going to try harder this time. And so I signed another LOI form, put it in, and I said, I'm going to recruit heavily. And so I put in a lot of people. There were so many good people in my team then, and I think the highest pin title that I achieved was Lapis, right? I was happy. Lapis income to me was a really, really big deal. But then I did something that really taught me a harsh lesson. I started bossing people around. I started telling them what to do, and I relaxed. Okay, so instead of leading people by example and doing the work myself and inspiring them to do the same, I bossed them around, I told them what to do, and their morale dropped. And so naturally what happened was I went through my grace period, I went through my provisional executive period again, and I lost not only my position, but I also lost my entire team. Lesson number 1, never ever go on management mode. Okay? So the moment you think that you can boss people around and tell them what to do and not do the work yourself is the moment your growth stops. So this is the one thing that I always tell my team. Always lead by example. Never ask your team to achieve something that you have not achieved yourself. The moment you boss people around, that's management mode, and that is a very, very dangerous place to be in, okay? So, this time, that was my second LOI already, I was angry. I wasn't upset or sad anymore, I was mad. I was like, I lost everything. I lost everybody. I'm not getting paid. So what do I do now? Instead of quitting though, I never thought of quitting because Nu Skin is like the best company. I'm not going to find any other company that offers the same opportunity. And so I was like, okay, I will put in my next LOI. And this time, this will be the last. I don't care what it takes, but I'm never going to be in this position again. And so, that was during the time when I was already dipping my toes into social media. I was already promoting Nourish the Children on Facebook a lot, and I received a letter from Truman Hunt. He's our former CEO, and he recognized my efforts in promoting Nourish the Children on Facebook, and he says, 16, why don't you start promoting products and business? I think you can be a great influencer. I don't know what that meant. But that was a letter from the CEO, and that was my green light. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. I've tried everything else. You know, I really thought that I was using so many wrong strategies before. And now this time, I'm going to be working on something I'm very familiar with. And so I said, I'm going to go all in on social media, and I'm going to unlearn everything that I have been taught in my first 4 years in business. I was in business in 2011, and this only happened in 2015. And so the first thing I did to shift to social media was to talk to my sponsor. It was a very awkward conversation. My sponsor's name is Robert Wilhagen, and he's a nice man. And I sat down with him and I told him, Rob, I'm going to go all in on social media. I know where you want to take the team, but that's not where I want to go. You want to promote other products. I want to promote toothpaste. And I know that's not where you want to be. So I would rather not attend your trainings. I'm not going to attend your trainings anymore. And I'm going to stay home and teach my future prospects how to do this from home. Because that was the only way I knew how. If my prospects were going to do 100% social media, I had to go through it myself. And so, I think one of the best things that my sponsor did was to let me go and let me figure it out. So lesson number 2 that I learned is that sometimes you really have to just think for yourself. Being an entrepreneur in this harsh business world requires you to be your own person. At the end of the day, this is your business. This is not my mentor's business. This is not my sponsor's business. This is 16's business. And so I had to take over and I had to have that awkward conversation. Can you imagine telling the person who's taught you for 5 years that you're not going to attend his trainings anymore? Right? Isn't that a little awkward? But I had to do it because an entrepreneur is someone who thinks for himself. And so he let me go, and then in the last 6 months of 2015, I started working tirelessly. It was 12 to 18 hours a day, and I remember not showering, it's very embarrassing, not eating right, and not sleeping well, because I was excited. For the first time, I was learning to do something new. I was free to do that. And the main thing there was that I couldn't ask help from anybody because I didn't know what I needed. I couldn't ask help from Nu Skin Philippines because it was all experimental. I didn't know what I needed at the time. So if I said, my team needs training videos, I made them myself. If I said my team needs online catalogs and my team needs a system like this, I made it myself. I didn't wait for people to solve my problems for me. And this is the same kind of work ethic that is being duplicated in the team, and that's why leaders become independent very, very quickly. So lesson number 3, don't wait for other people to solve your problems for you. Don't look for answers in anybody else. Don't wait for anybody else to tell you the answers. Look for it for yourself. If it means making your own materials, if it means figuring out what your team needs, you gotta be your own entrepreneur, you gotta be your own person, because this will allow your team to duplicate that, to follow that, and have independent minds of their own. Because can you imagine if you want to grow your business to, let's say, 30 or 50,000 people, you can't keep holding their hands, right? You can't keep guiding them every step of the way. You know what the goal is? The goal is to have a team, a big team of people who are thinking independently. You want to know the reality about the new girls? The reality about the new girls is that they're people who very often don't listen to what I say. They don't listen to what I say, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Of course, I had to teach them in the beginning, but the moment they are done with learning the basics, compensation plan, products, the company profile, they are left to create their own way, to find their own path in building their own business. And so I started to create my stories, started to make materials, and then I started recruiting in 2016, as I said yesterday. And so our numbers were very, very humble. 30 signups, then 50 signups, and then 100, and then 500. And then right now we're averaging about 2,500 to 3,000 signups every month, and it's still growing. We're still a very young team, and there's still so much to do, and still very much to learn. And our numbers compared to the bajillionaires that we have in this company are very, very small still, so there's still more room to grow. But there is a very important lesson that I learned as well. Lesson number 4 is that I never doubted that I will be here. I never doubted my destination. I never doubted my future. Even when I lost my team, even when things are hard, even when I wasn't achieving 2,000 points, I never doubted that this was where I was meant to be. So when you visualize where you want to go in this business, what kind of paycheck do you want to earn? What kind of life do you want to live? How many people do you want in your team? Realize that that is what you deserve, and never ever doubt that that is where you will be. Never doubt your future. But along with that, I also learned something very important, and this is the last lesson. When I looked at my team, I realized that I haven't met them. By the way, I'm going to meet them for the first time on March 24 because we're also having our convention. And they're going to be recognized as new rubies, new emeralds, new diamonds. It's so cute because they're going to be exposed to the Nu Skin world for the first time, and they're such babies. But I realized that all of their achievements happened and I was irrelevant to them. And so the 5th thing that I learned is that culture matters. Culture matters. And I think, you know, it's very ironic that I'm teaching you about this because Vietnam has taught me more about culture than any place. Yesterday, I actually shed a tear because I was so touched by what I saw and what I learned. I sat down with some leaders, had dinner with some of them too, and I had lunch with some Vietnamese leaders, and I learned that you guys trust each other a lot, don't you? And you're very, very kind, and you're very generous with your skills and your time and your knowledge. And I think a lot of markets should take a lesson on that because your culture is amazing. And your culture is my goal for my team, actually, because that really matters. Sometimes a person will struggle so bad in this business, but you sometimes wonder why they stay. And they stay because they like you. They stay because they like the family that you built. They stay because they like the environment of being able to make mistakes and come back to you and still be welcomed with open arms. I think you taught me more about that than anybody. So to honor your culture, to honor the culture that you've bred in Nu Skin Vietnam, then I think it is my time to be generous with the techniques that I've learned in the 2.5 years that I've been working on the New Girls and working on social media. And so I actually listed my top 10 tips on social media. This is more advanced. Some of this you already know, but hopefully you learned something new as well. So let's start with the first tip, okay? Yesterday, I actually discussed 3 things that you should do in order to create a very good personal branding. Number 1 is listening. Number 2 is spear fishing. And number 3 is creating authentic content. Now, when it comes to content, this is the number one thing that you have to know. Nothing is as powerful as your personal testimonial. Okay, a lot of us know how to copy and paste, right? It's very easy. We can copy and paste other people's stories, testimonials, not only for product, but we like to copy their business success stories. Let me tell you a very, very painful story that happened to one of my girls, actually, one of the people in my team. She kept sharing my success story with Nu Skin. Look at this girl, she's been making this much, and look at this girl, how she's changing her life. And look at this girl, she's already achieved so much and traveled. And her friends started asking questions. But what I didn't realize was that I was having new people. I didn't realize this was happening. I was having new people sign up with me, and I realized that they were her friends. And I didn't know it. And so that's something that might happen to you if you keep sharing other people's stories, is that they're going to go to the person that you're promoting, right? So share your own story, share your own personal testimonial, because you risk your friends and your prospects going to the person who owns the story, right? So number 1, your personal testimonial is the most powerful one. Number 2, video content, as uncomfortable as it is to make them, is the best type of content for selling. I don't know, are you still camera shy? I don't think so. I've been seeing a lot of you going on live broadcasts. I don't think you're shy at all. So in the Philippines, this is a problem though. We are camera shy, and I'm actually camera shy myself. I had to do video, like maybe 5 awful videos first before I got better at it. But the reason why video content is the best is because most platforms like Facebook and Instagram, they value 3 types of content. There's text, photos, and then videos. They prioritize videos first. So if it's a live broadcast, then they notify everyone, hey, this girl is live, why don't you watch it? So the second is photos, and then the last would be text. So if you really, really want to be effective and visible to your community, then you got to learn how to be good with videos. Okay, number 3, be consistent with posting, but keep a balance. 80% of your wall should be personal posts, because people want to buy from people. 20% can be about products or business. Like I said yesterday, personal branding does not have anything to do with a logo or a professional profile. A personal branding is how you make people feel. How do people remember you? Do you make people feel happy when they remember your name? And nothing can do that but your personal post. So you gotta put more of yourself out there, right? You gotta tell people about what your interests are. What did you eat for today? Where do you want to go? What are your goals? Okay, so lifestyle photos are very, very effective as well. So post more of that. What motivates you? What upsets you? Why are you working so hard? All of that personal style should make up 80% of your wall. So if you check your Facebook right now and it's all products, change that, okay? That is not an effective way to build your personal branding. Okay. Number 4, it takes a person an average of 5 to 7 exposures to product posts and testimonials before they decide to buy a product. Don't let the result of one post be the determining factor for your success. A lot of people will try social media and they will post once or twice, and then they don't get any results from it. And then they go, oh my God, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Social media doesn't work. But the data for this is actually, it will take the normal or the average person, the average consumer, 5 to 7 exposures. What does that mean? I have to see that product 5 to 7 times before I decide. So I studied my own behavior with the way I shop online as well. I shop for clothes, I shop for shoes, I shop for makeup sometimes, and I don't really decide right away when I see one video. And I'm like, that's true for me too. I realize that is true. I have to see a photo. Then I have to see a testimonial, then I have to see a video, then I have to read something about it, then I have to see reviews. So that is why consistency is important, because this happens. 5 to 7 exposure is what we need before we decide. So remember, just because no one ordered on your first 2 posts doesn't mean you're a failure, okay? Number 5, posting about your product is only 1/3 of your job. The other 2 jobs are spear fishing and following up. Very, very easy to post. It takes a few seconds, or it takes 5 minutes, depending on what kind of post you're doing. But don't stop with just posting. If you're promoting your business, then you can post about your lifestyle, say something about your success, but at the same time, take your scripts, invite someone through direct message, send 20 messages today. Hey, I have this really great opportunity that's changed my life. I've been traveling so much and I love it. And I've been earning online for free. Is that something that you want to learn about? Because I think you're going to love what I do. Send that message to maybe 20 of your friends, 30 of your friends, and do it every single day to as many people as you can, because when you post, not everybody sees your posts. So you want to cover, it's like widening the net, right? Making sure that everyone is aware of your opportunity. So spear fishing and following up on those who replied should be 2/3 of your job, all right? Number 6. Read your product information pages. I'm sure that you already do this. And catalogs. Be an expert at finding solutions. If a person has a specific need, you can find different choices according to their budget. This is just basic sales skills, right? We're not always on the lookout for a new builder. Sometimes we also have to value our customers. Actually, that is the foundation of our business. Customer relations and building our customer base. So, they gravitate towards people who know what they're talking about. They gravitate towards people who are experts in their field. So if you decide to be a Pharmanex expert, like a health expert, read your product catalogs and read your product information pages. If you want to be an expert in skincare and beauty, they will gravitate towards you and ask you for advice. And that is how you know you have a good personal branding. So be an expert at finding solutions, and finding solutions that match their budget. Forget about your agenda. I know it's very tempting to keep selling Galvanic, and Galvanic is a very good product. I've sold Galvanics too. But if a person cannot afford that, then by all means find a different alternative, because that is what an effective salesperson does. So I'd rather he buys a $15 product than not buy anything at all, because he can't afford the Galvanic. Am I right? Okay, so number 7. Keep a record of your customers' info and purchasing history, and this will help you with your follow-ups. This is just a lesson on organizing yourself, because like I said, 2/3 of your job is spearfishing and follow-ups. So it's important that you value your customers. I just use an Excel file. I have an Excel spread. So I write their names, and then what product they ordered, what date they ordered, and usually our products last for 1 month, right? So I know when they should order again. And then I put their birthdays. I ask them for their birthdays because I send them a little gift. Every time it's their birthday, I get notified. So that's just something special that you can do for your customers too. Okay, number 8. Manage customer expectation on delivery dates in case of unexpected delays. I'm not sure if you have that problem. In the Philippines, we have this problem. That's why I have to talk about it. It's better to under-promise and over-deliver, right? Than over-guarantee and then under-deliver. So if you're talking about anything with your customers, don't over-promise. If there are delays with a shipment or anything like that, always give an allowance of 2 to 3 days. So if it's a next day delivery, I usually say it'll take you 1 to 3 days. So manage your customers' expectations all the time, because this can actually be the #1 source of your stress if you don't manage it well. Okay? Number 9. Online customers have the power of screen capture. Be courteous, kind, and patient when dealing with them. One screenshot can make you or break you, right? Who here has used the power of the screen capture before, right? Am I right? Like, I need proof that we had this conversation. So I'm going to take a screen capture right now, and just in case I need it. So people right now, customers right now who are on social media are very powerful because one post can make you or break you. You can spend 10 years building a good personal branding, but it only takes one post from a person to ruin all of that. So your private conversations have to be kind and courteous. I'm sure you already know that, right? Because these people can either say, oh my God, he's so great. This person gave me such good service and I love the product. He's so nice to talk to. Or they can say, you know what? He's very rude. I don't like talking to him. He didn't really answer my questions in a friendly way. I don't recommend. Just buy from this person instead. It only takes one post. So always be kind and courteous when you deal with your customers, even when it's a private chat. Number 10, personal branding is important. This has nothing to do with a logo or a business page. Be pleasant, make people feel special, and always create original content. Like I said, the reason why the New Girls has been in such a huge momentum is because I spent a lot of time building my personal branding first. Right? I learned to be self-aware. Who am I? What am I into? And how do I want to make people feel? I mastered that first. So if you really want to do this right, be self-aware. Who am I? Ask yourself, who am I? What am I into? What are my interests? What do I stand for? And who are the kind of people I want to work with? Be self-aware first, because once you start talking on social media, that's going to be your voice. That's going to be your tone. A lot of people try to be someone they're not. They try to be fake on social media. Like, a lot of people ask me, how do I be like you? Right? How to succeed? How do I be like you so that I can have those results? How to be like me is to not be like me. You should be like you. Okay? You have to be self-aware because your tone and your voice are going to attract people who can relate to that. So be self-aware first and start talking about that on social media. Master that first. Because when I was creating the New Girls branding, I said, I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I'm a young millennial who likes to look good and feel great, and I value freedom, and I'm very ambitious and I'm very hardworking. I'm self-aware of who I am and I know my voice. And so now that I know this, I'm going to start talking about it, and I spent years talking about it before I even thought of thinking of a branding for my team. And so when you've mastered being self-aware, personal branding takes care of itself, and then you can build a branding for your team. So those are my top 10. And I appreciate that you took the time to listen to me. I had fun, actually. That will be it. And I really, really hope that I get to visit Vietnam again because I've had so much fun. And can I just say before I wrap up, I actually do want to thank you for showing me so much kindness and for being you and for having this culture of goodness with each other. You all think the better of each other. And I think that's really what I am taking home in the Philippines when I get back and I discuss my experience with Vietnam. So thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to share, and I love you all. Bye. Thank you.